Hello and welcome. My name is Kata and I made this video today in response to a question that I had on my Instagram page from a viewer who was asking how to settle the mind and calm the mind during meditation. They were having a difficult time with that. Trust me, you're not alone. You're not the only person. There's lots of people that struggle with that. I sometimes struggle with that as well during meditation. The first thing that I'm going to suggest to anybody that is just starting with meditation or just perhaps having a hard time settling the mind during meditation, what I would suggest is to play frequency music throughout the day. Just when you're puttering around the house or if you're working from home, definitely play frequency music throughout the day, and play it so that you can hear it throughout the whole home. It doesn't matter kind of where you are in the home, you can hear it. This frequency music will really help you to, first it's going to slow the brain waves down, which is going to make a huge difference in how you feel and think overall, like your processing. I find my brain becomes way less chattery if I have this music playing. I find it's very helpful for my child. It keeps her nice and calm, and she loves it too. It creates a very beautiful, peaceful, loving energy frequency in my home, and I love it, and it really calms my mind. And it's so much easier to meditate if, like, throughout the day you're already like slowing things down, and because that music has an effect on you, right? Not just on your brain and your brain waves, but also on your physical body, your mood, everything. So how you feel, your feelings, your thoughts, even how you think. I find even how I think is different when I have frequency music playing. So, and there's many different types. There's one specifically programmed for like the heart chakra. There's for basically one for each of the chakras. There's all types of frequency music. There's a couple that I particularly really like to listen to that I just find is very good. There's no words, it's just music. I'm going to link that so that you guys can try it out. It's just great. I love it. And then in addition to playing frequency music at home, what I would also suggest is to clear the home every so often. I find clearing my home, I mean, I do it daily, but I do it daily because I just feel it shifts things all the time. It's almost like the previous days, stuff and energy and whatever kind of happened, just sort of it sweeps it out. And it makes a difference. I really find it's very helpful. So, and you could do this with burning sage or Palo Santo. Palo Santo is holy wood. It's usually a small little piece of wood. You can get them in many health food stores. I think you can also find them at like sort of specialty stores that have more, spiritual base, like crystals, that kind of stuff. You can certainly buy them in those places. You can also get it on Amazon. Another thing would be great to do would be to burn candles. I love my little tea lights and I have them everywhere, and just lighting them, I find, and having that warmth, it creates such an ambiance. It creates such a beautiful feeling of peace. Fire is very calming in itself, and looking at it, seeing the flame, I don't really like to use those fake candles. I mean, yes, they're a lot more safe for sure, especially around children, but the real deal is really different. The fire element itself is being brought into the home when you're lighting candles, and that makes a huge difference as well. And is needed. I find fire sort of burns, clears energy as well. So that can be very helpful. And even looking into the flame actually sends a signal to the brain to slow down and to quiet down and calm down. When you think about, like, a long time ago, our communities used to get together and sit by the fire in the evenings, and they would talk and and stare into the fire and tell stories to each other. And the reason why they did that, and especially this was basically like a ritual before bed, that many tribes and many communities would do, because they knew the power fire had on our psyche and on our mind and on our whole physicality. And they understood that fire sends a beautiful message to the mind to slow down and calm down. It's very soothing. And so they would sit around the fire every night and chat and before bed. And I think that's wonderful. These are sort of ancient practices that we've really lost in our modern world. And I think it would be great to bring them back. I am so lucky that I have a fire pit in my backyard and I get to have a fire whenever I want, and that's beautiful and wonderful. But not everyone is as fortunate. And if you can't have an actual fire in your backyard, or if you don't have a fireplace in the home, then I would most certainly suggest just to use some candles, and even just a couple of candles, even one single candle on your desk where you're working, while you're working, hopefully if it's safe, would be great to keep. Just it really truly brings in something special. It's just little tiny tools, but I find they're so helpful. They make such a difference in my life. So fire is something I have every day. I have a candle going every single day. I do my saging and Palo Santo pretty well every day. Um, I play the frequency music every day. So these are all just things that keep me at peace, and they keep me level. They keep me feeling good within myself and within my soul, and it just keeps my brain quiet. It's so much easier for me to go into meditation in the evening when I've just listened to beautiful frequency music all day long. It's like I'm already there. I'm like ready to go right into meditation. So it really, really helps. If you can't quiet your mind, try it out. I assure you it will be helpful. And give yourself some time. You may have to play it every day for at least a week or a couple of weeks before you really notice a difference. But personally, I notice a difference immediately. So try it out. Another thing with meditation, I think it's very, very important to establish a specific spot in the home, a location where you're going to meditate. It makes a huge difference. It also, for me personally, it helps me to commit to the practice more, because it's like I have my space, and the space is already set up in a very beautiful way that's very inviting, very supporting and nurturing to my meditation practice. We've got candles, I've got the sage, I've got comfortable pillows, and everything that I need to really feel awesome about meditating and like to actually really want to do it. So set up a dedicated spot in your home, find a room or wherever, anywhere in your home, not in the bedroom. I never meditate in my bedroom, but somewhere that will be a very supportive space for you to be able to do that and can go back to over and over. Because you get used to it after a while. You're going to know, like, okay, that's my spot and I'm going for my little, TLC. So the other piece is, if you're going to be meditating in a specific area, in that particular space, I would definitely recommend setting up an altar. I have my own altar. I have several altars actually throughout my home. An altar is a sacred space. It's like a small little sacred space that you set up that again ties into the meditation practice. It shows you sort of visually and helps you commit, because it like it's just there. You go in and you see your altar, and you know what you're going in that space for, right? You already, like, it just signals to you already that, hey, we're here to just zen out right now and calm down and be at peace. So before the meditation practice, the way I like to begin is I approach my altar first, and I kind of do like this little ritual before I start the meditation, where I call in the light and I ask to be supported during my meditation by my guides, my angels, my guardians, my higher self. I ask to be supported also by ascended masters, and so it's like you approach the altar. I actually light a candle first, and then I call upon the higher realms to come in and support me for my meditation, and to help me gain any clarity, any understanding that I need in this moment for any unanswered questions that I might have. And then once I've lit the candle and I've called that light in, ultimately, like, that's what the altar serves as. And then you can go straight into your meditation practice. But I don't know, like, I find having the altar makes a difference. It makes it more deep. It makes it more connected. It makes it more spiritual. There's no other way to say it. So, and then on my altar, because I have a couple of tips for setting up your altar. If you don't have an altar, you can literally use anything, any little side table that you have, something that you could, just a spot. It could even be like on top of a dresser. It's as long as you know that you're committing, you're putting like an altar together. That's going to be your dedicated altar spot. Then to set it up, it really, you don't need a whole lot of stuff to set it up. It's a couple of things really. One main thing that I would really, really encourage though for people to put on there is anything and everything that is of very, very high vibration. So candles, I always have candles on my altar. I always have crystals on my altar. This is a beautiful piece of amethyst. This is something that you can put on your altar as well. Amethyst is a crystal that specifically has to do with healing. So that's something that you can place on your altar. I have another gorgeous piece of crystal here. And then I have this one, if you can see it. It's a huge piece, but I love this one. I think it's clear quartz. And I have these on here because it amplifies energy. Crystals really, really amplify energy. Fire amplifies energy. It also, fire is a representation of light. It is a representation of the higher realms. So that in itself is bringing in that high vibe energy. The crystals are bringing it in. And I also like to have on my upstairs altar, I have this beautiful picture actually of Jesus Christ. And I'm not a religious person, but I very, very much connect with Jesus Christ energy. Jesus Christ energy is basically the highest frequency of unconditional love that you could imagine. So I have that specifically, and I have his picture specifically on my altar. It's just the energy and the vibration that I truly feel connected to, and I just feel like that's where I belong. So have these few items on your altar, and I think you will see that you will really be able to deepen your meditation practice. You will really be able to deepen that connection within yourself, because ultimately the meditation is already a connection to self, but it's like if you do these little steps before you even get into the meditation, it's like you open your heart first. That's what I feel happens to me when I sit and I invite that light in. And as soon as I invite the light in, it's like it's instant. I feel it. I know that they're present. I know that they're there. And I know that they're supporting me because I can feel it physically. And it really takes my meditation practice to a whole nother level. It's very different. Sometimes I do quick meditations where I don't necessarily do that. I always invite the light in and I always ask for guidance. But I don't always necessarily light the candle on the altar and stuff. That's if I do a longer meditation and I want to get something very specific or deep out of it. But on the daily, I find I'll just sit on the couch, and I prefer to meditate upright versus laying down. I want to be present, kind of. I don't want to pass out. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I'm laying down. If I do a long meditation, then I'll lay down, and most of the time I don't fall asleep actually. But sometimes it can happen, and that's okay too. Like if you fall asleep, let it happen. Just know that when you fall asleep during meditation, the reason why you're actually falling asleep is A, because you're very tired, your body's exhausted, and two, because sometimes we can't integrate healing and we can't actually take it in deeply unless we are unconscious. So while we're conscious, there seems to be like a block. So the conscious mind can sometimes block healing from happening or from it taking place even within the body. So if you're falling asleep and you find you've passed out during meditation, don't worry about it. Let it happen. Let yourself sleep, because while you're listening, it's still programming you, and it's programming the subconscious mind at that point, which is great. It's awesome. That's exactly what you want, because let's face it, all our garbage and trauma and past hurts and everything comes from the subconscious mind. So that's where it all gets stored. Yay for us. So ultimately what meditation is doing for you in the meditation practice is it's going to reprogram your subconscious mind. That's what it's doing for me. So the more you do it, the better, because the faster you're reprogramming the subconscious, and the more you're purging all of the unwanted stuff that's in there that I call spiritual baggage. So yeah, so basically try those tips out. Again, to calm the mind, do the frequency music, listen to it every day, and just see how that helps you. It will definitely start to get you in a place where you will find that meditation is becoming easier and easier and easier as a result of just listening to frequency music. That in itself is already a form of meditation. I find it actually puts me in a conscious meditative state, which is very interesting throughout the day. And if you are working, by the way, it will really, really boost your productivity, listening to frequency music while you're working, if you're able to. So those are my tips. I hope that the question was answered for the person who was having a difficult time with meditation, and I hope the ultra tips are going to be helpful for you and that you're able to set one up. And have fun and enjoy and just explore and see what you find within yourself when you are in meditation. I have very cool experiences, and the more you do it, the cooler it gets, I promise you. So just keep at it, don't give up. It will become a success, and you will be able to quiet down that mind and get you to a really good place of peace and serenity within yourself and self-acceptance. Actually, meditation has helped me accept myself so much more than I ever have before, and that's step one. So hope this was helpful. Take care of yourselves, enjoy the meditation practice, and be good to yourselves, okay? No judgment, just keep showing up. That's it. Love you all. Take care of yourselves, and I hope you all enjoyed this beautiful spring day today. Bye-bye.